Wherever you are, we're good.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 2020 Oxjam concert, and thank you for supporting this very important charity. We're Jill and Bernard Blackwell, that's Jill, and
Hello.
We've been playing together now for about 40 years, or more than 40 years, and we play a range of traditional songs on a number of instruments. Jill plays the flute, she also dances, but today she's going to give the dancing a miss because it's a bit windy in this garden and a bit slippy on the grass. So we're going to start by singing one of our favourite chorus songs written by a submariner called Tom Lewis. It's called I'm Marching Inland. And if you're in the mood for joining in the chorus at home, the chorus is I'm marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. That's O-A-R. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, then I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I'll know I'll never go to sea no more. So here we go.
Marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more.
Lord Nelson had a surefire way of curing Malden men, and if you'll pay attention then his secret I will share. To every seasick sailor he'd give this advice for free: if you're feeling seasick, sit underneath the tree. So I'm marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. Columbus, he set sail to find out if the world was round. He kept on sailing to the west until he ran aground. He thought he'd found the Indies, but he'd found the USA. I know some navigators who can still do that today. So I'm marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. Drake is in his hammock and 10,000 miles away. Grenville's Revenge is at the bottom of the bay. Even Walter Raleigh didn't die in bed. In the Tower of London he lost his head. So I'm marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. So sailor, take a warning from these men of high renown. When you leave the ocean and it's time to settle down, never cast your anchor less than 90 miles from shore, for there'll always be temptation to be off to sea once more. So I'm marching inland from the shore, over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. That's a great song. And you've noticed the first verse, Lord Nelson says, don't sit underneath a tree. And I suddenly realised as we were singing, here we are underneath the trees. But those of you that are familiar with the old sailing ships will perhaps recognise that sitting under a tree was a very important place to sit if you were feeling seasick. The tree being the cross tree on the mainmast of the sailing ship. Sit there and it's, well, reasonably steady so you wouldn't be sick. So That's Tom Lewis. Now we're going to move on to something a little bit more, I suppose, romantic, really. There's nothing romantic about that one. And this song is called My Johnny Was a Shoemaker. It tells a rather romantic tale of a young lad who goes to sea to seek his fortune, make his riches, and promises, of course, to his sweetheart that he'll be back at the end of this long journey, which goodness knows how many years it would be, and that he'll marry her and all will be sweetness and light and they'll live happily ever after. Rather, I doubt that happens so often, but never mind. It was worth thinking about. My Johnny was a shoemaker.
Johnny was a shoemaker, and dearly he loved me. My Johnny was a shoemaker, but now he's gone to sea, with nasty tar to soil his hands, and to sail across the briny sea. Johnny was a shoemaker. His jacket was of deep sky blue, and curly was his hair. His jacket was of deep sky blue. It was, I do declare, to reef the topsail he has gone, and to sail across the briny sea. My Johnny was a shoemaker. He'll sail across the oceans wide, where storm and tempest blow. He'll sail across the oceans wide, through frost and ice and snow, but his warm heart will fight the cold and keep him safely bound to me. My Johnny was a shoemaker. With a brave and gallant crew, a captain he'll be by and by, with a sword and spyglass too. And when he gets a ship of his own, he'll come back and he'll marry me. My Johnny was a shoemaker. I'll sing the whole day long. Yes, when I am a captain's wife, then this will be my song. May peace and plenty bless our days, and the little ones upon my knee. My Johnny was a shoemaker.
My Johnny was a shoemaker. Now, staying on a nautical theme, the reality of separation, of course, is something that most seafaring people have to put up with, because seldom can they take their wives or their partners to sea. And we're going to sing a song by Cyril Tawney now, who was in the Royal Navy, like Tom Lewis, and he wrote lots of sea songs. Some of you will know them.
Grey Funnel Line and
Chicken on a Raft.
Chicken on a Raft. That's a good one, yeah.
So here we are. So this perhaps this one is more of the true reality of separation at sea. Oh, no. Oh, Sally, free and easy, now that should be her name. Yes, Sally, free and easy, yes, that should be her name. Took the sailors loving well, now the heart she gave me, it wasn't made of stone. Oh no, the heart she gave me, it wasn't made of stone. It was sweet and hollow, like a so I think I'll wait till sunset and see the ensign down. Why, yes, I'll wait till sunset and see the ensign down. And then I'll take the tideway to my bed. Oh, Sally, free and easy, now that should be her name. Yes, Sally, free and easy, why, that should be her name. When my body's landed, I hope she dies of the shame. Sally, free and easy. Cyril Tawney knew how to write a good song, and he's great. Well, that's enough of the tragic stuff. We're going to move on to something else. You're going to tell about that one.
Yeah, we're going to sing a song called The Tailor and the Tea Chest, which is a good rollicking number about a tailor who gets up to no good. Again, if you fancy joining in at home, the chorus is Turanaddy fol the laddie, Turanaddy fol the day. And it mentions China. We thought on the way over here it's actually quite topical because it mentions trading with China. Although in this case it's talking about trading tea with China. I think it predates the plastic toys and the nuclear energy. Listen out for that one.
Okay.
Was a tarry sailor, and he in this town did dwell. He had a handsome wife, and she loved the tailor well. Turanaddy fol the laddie, Turanaddy fol the day. Well, I say this very night now you must come and visit me, for my husband's off to China to buy and sell some tea. Turanaddy fol the laddie.
But they hadn't long been courting by the tolling of the clock, when a booting on the hall door came as loud as it could knock. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the day. Oh, now where shall I run to? Oh, now where shall I hide? In my husband's tea chest, close to the bedside. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the day. She ran quickly down the stairs and she opened up the door, and there stands a dandy husband, aye, with sailors more. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. She ran into his arms and she blessed him with a kiss, saying, husband, dearest husband, what's the meaning of all this? Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. Well, I haven't come to love you or disturb you of your rest, but I cannot go to China without me big tea chest. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. For of these brave sailor lads, they been so stout and strong, they picked up the tea chest and they carried it along. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. But they hadn't got as far as a mile out of the town, and the weight of the tea chest, it made their sweat run down. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. And this one of these brave sailor lads, he turns round to the rest, he says, I wonder what the devils are kicking in the chest. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. So they took out the key and they opened up the chest, and they laid the randy tailor like a pigeon in his nest. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. Shall we take him out to China? Shall we trade him in for tea? Or leave him in all England to raise a family? Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. So they took him out to China and they traded him in for tea, and he made a fine supply for that whole ship's company. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. So come all you randy tailors, a warning take by this: if you go a-courting, never hide in a tea chest. Too-a-naddy, fall the laddie, too-a-naddy, fall the clay. Tailor and the tea chest. It's funny how these tales in English folklore about tailors always seem to be up to some mischief, usually with somebody else's wife. I'm sure that's not a stereotypical representation of the tailoring profession, understand it. But I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, Ben's going to get his Northumbrian pipes out now. So it'll just be a short moment while he straps himself in. For those who may not be too familiar with these form of bagpipes, he might just tell you a little bit about them before we play a tune, or a set of tunes, a couple of tunes. We're going to do some Scottish tunes today, actually. The first one is called The Dark Island, which you may know the melody. There's been quite a few sets of words written to this air as well. The Dark Island in question is supposed to be, or is in fact, the island of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides. And the second tune is called...
The Aiken Drum.
What's it called? The Aiken Drum. That's the one. The Aiken Drum.
The Aiken Drum, yes. Yeah. So, most people know about the Highland bagpipes, which of course are blown and big drones up there, and usually played on the top of a hill. Great instrument, absolutely wonderful instrument. But the Northumbrian pipes, rather like the Scottish border pipes, are played with bellows. So you've got this thing here, and the Ilian Irish pipe is played with a bellows. So I disconnected. Here we go. great for getting the fire going. And the idea is that you pump with your right arm into the bag here, and when you've got sufficient air in there, then you apply pressure to the left, and it starts to work like that. Okay, and yeah. Now we had. It's interesting to hear the dog there, because when I learnt to play the pipes, because you can't go into a music shop and buy a set of pipes. It's just maybe in the northeast you could, but certainly in this neck of the woods you can't. So I got these made for me in 1984. And it took me about a month just to be able to play a straightforward scale, because they're not the easiest of things to get to grips with. And I learnt to play in the garage, and when I proudly learnt to play some slow air, I came in to demonstrate it to Jill, and she just fell about laughing, and I couldn't quite understand why. And the reason was, of course, instead of operating my elbows independently, I was doing that and sort of doing the twist at the same time. So I had to go back and relearn. And if you get it right, they're a wonderful instrument.
Thank you for that.
The late Queen Mother was a very big fan of the Highland pipes, and I understand that the Dark Highland was actually one of her favourite airs. In fact, they played it at her funeral. There we go. So, enough of the pipes.
We're going to do another of our favourite songs now. Been in our repertoire quite a while. It's called Master Kilby. Rather unusual song. It was actually collected in Somerset by Cecil Sharp back in the very early days of the 20th century. Although it doesn't really have quite a feel of a folk song, folk broadside kind to it, and there's some speculation it may possibly have been from a late 19th century music hall or vaudeville show of some kind. But it's a lovely song. Just get in tune.
Yes, it's one of my favourite songs. It's really, really nice. It goes. Are we in tune then?
The day when the sun shines so freely, I met Master Kilby, so fine and so gay. I pulled off my hat and I bowed to the ground, and I said, Master Kilby, where are you bound? I am bound for the west, in hopes to find a rest, and in the arms of my dear Nancy, I'll build a new nest. I was the master of 10,000 pounds in bright gold and silver, or in King William's crowns. I would part with it all, with my own heart so freely, and it's all for the sake of my charming Nancy. She's the fairest of girls, she's the choice of my heart, and her skin shines like silver in every part. I gave her some kisses, it was down by the seashore, but still she lay asking for more.
Great song. Now we're going to do one more, I think.
We
aren't
are, yes.
So finish this set off. Staying with our nautical theme, this is a poet. It was a poem written by a First World War era poet or poetess called Cicely Fox Smith, and she wrote this and called it "A Race of Long Ago," and it's the true story about a race between two clipper ships on the Wool Run from Sydney Harbour through to London, and between the Robin Adair and the Clansman. And the Robin Adair, some of you may have heard of that name. In fact, there were songs about the Robin Adair, a very famous clipper ship, and it was only ever beaten once on the run from Australia by the Clansman. The Clansman was built in Whitby, of all places, wasn't it? Built in Whitby. And we're going to do it in a rather different style to that which it was recorded by Bob Robertson many years ago, his famous Thames Bargeman. And while we like his version, we've jazzed it up a little bit to make it more suitable for us. So here we go. This is our final number. Thanks for listening. Have a little drink.
Left shortly.
Mm-hmm. going to join in the bits which go, when we beat the robin adair. Well now, I never did much good in my life. I've been a waster through and through. The only things that I ever did, they were things that I wanted to do. I've wasted me chances as well as me pay. Of bad luck, I've had my share. But I was one of the clansman's crew when we beat the robin adair. It was yard after yard of Mad Sydney Head, and then she started to blow. Soon the clansman was reeling them off at 15 knots or so. The old man grinned as he faced the wind. This is the weather for her. My lads, he cried, you've seen the last of that wonderful robin adair. But early one morning as the sun arose and the day had just begun, we sighted a ship hull down astern, a-coming along like fun. The old man swept his glass to his eye, and you should have heard him swear. For up from the south with a bone in her mouth there came the robin adair. We started to pile the canvas on, and it had to stay there too. 'Twas a fair old breeze in the morning time, but by God that night it blew. I've seen some strange things in me time, and I tell you it made me swear. Cracking on sail in a Biscay gale just to beat the robin adair. We made the London River at last by 12 of the whopping clock. I counted the chimes as we tied her up to the boys in the London dock. We'd won that race in 49 days with a tail of the tide to spare. But that was all so long ago when we beat the robin adair. Oh, now these wooden ships have gone to chips, some 40 years or more. She was sold away to a wrecker bunch, and the blighters put her ashore. And somewhere south of the Lizard's Naze, north of the Straits Lemaire, with the fishes cruising around her ribs, there lies the robin adair. Now I never did much good in my life, I've been a waster through and through. The only things that I ever did, they were things that I wanted to do. I've wasted my chances as well as my pay. Bad luck, I've had my share. But I was one of the clansman's crew when we beat the robin adair. Robin adair, thank you very much. Well, it just remains for us to say thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the festival, and thanks a lot for supporting Oxjam. Cheers. Okay.